The views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any organization. Hello and welcome friends to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Now, this week marks what I believe is peak silly season in Indian politics. After the storm over the toppling of the Maharashtra government, there is a slight lull in the news cycle. But can there ever be a week in Indian politics without the slightest hint of drama? So entered Trinamool Congress MP Mahua Moitra, a fiesty, glamorous, well-educated, young, English-speaking woman MP. Ms. Moitra belongs to a dying species in a way in Indian politics. This is not, my friends, an age for the English-speaking professional in political life. This is the age of Hindi, Hindustan, and yes, Hindu leaders. So when a former America-educated, London-trained investment banker like Mahua Moitra says at an India Today conclave in Kolkata that as an individual she has every right to imagine Ma Kali as a meat-eating and alcoholic-inducing goddess, it sparks off a routine controversy. Because in the times in which we live, controversies are created, they get manufactured. Any attempt in particular to debate personal religious beliefs in the public realm is to step into a political minefield. Within hours of her remarks going viral, the TMC decided to distance itself from Mahua. The comments made by Mahua Moitra are in her personal capacity and not endorsed by the Trinamool Congress in any manner or form, was their tweet. Typically, the BJP's IT cell chief, Amit Malviya, always spoiling for a fight, latched onto Mahua's remarks. Mamta Banerjee should punish Mahua Moitra for the hurt she has caused to the sentiments of Hindus in Bengal. She should issue a lookout notice for Mahua Moitra the way she has for a Nupur Sharma. Now, hurt sentiments. Very nice. It really seems we have become the republic of hurt sentiments. I asked my mother-in-law, a true daughter of the soil Bengali Hindu, whether she was hurt by what Mahua said. She gave me a detailed response that is worth listening to. Ma Kali, she says, has a very fierce personality. In fact, she has three different personalities. Raksha Kali, who protects her followers fiercely against their enemies. Ma Kali as Ma Tara, who is the benevolent goddess who defends the weak and the powerless. Her temple at Tara Peeth shows her in the form of Ma Tara. The last one is Shasan Kali, or the Kali of the cremation grounds. She is the most ferocious of that lot. She is worshipped by tantrics, or those priests who drink alcohol and even offer alcohol to the goddess in human skulls before performing pujo at midnight. All Kali pujos, including the one at the famous Kali temple at Kali Ghat in Kolkata near Mamta Banerjee's house, offer goat meat as prasad to the goddess. Till recent times, the goat used to be offered as a sacrifice to the goddess. And devotees who go for the pujo at midnight sit in rows in the temple and are offered the meat, prasad and rice. From my mother-in-law's response, it was clear that her sentiments were clearly not hurt, but she saw varying interpretations of Ma Kali as part of a great Bengali tradition. Not just my mother-in-law. I am willing to bet that the sentiments have not been hurt of millions of Bengalis who probably have far bigger issues on their mind, including to be worried about the rising price of Hilsa fish. Why then did Mahua's remarks cause such a furor that even FIRs have been filed across the country? For the BJP to rake it up, my friends, is no surprise. The party at the moment is itching to keep the pot boiling on religious sentiments. So much easier for the ruling party to target its opponents on religion than get into any serious debate on governance issue, talk of rising prices or falling rupee. Better to talk on an emotive issue involving Ma Kali. But why did the Trinamool Congress, which claims to represent authentic Bengali culture, also choose to distance itself from Mahua? Well, partly because the TMC too has realized that any contentious views on Hindu religious symbols equals advantage BJP in the present political milieu. A few years ago, Mamata Banerjee was angered by Jai Shri Ram slogans at a public event in Kolkata. There was a public display of anger that the BJP used to project Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister, as anti-Hindu. For the BJP, it gave them an entry point into Bengal, and in the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the party won a remarkable 18 seats. Mamata, soon enough, clever leader with a ear to the ground, decided that she wasn't going to fight the BJP on Ram and Hindutva, but fight them instead on Bengali sub-nationalism. The strategy worked, and Mamata swept the Vidhan Sabha elections of 2021. Clearly, Mamata and her party don't want the BJP to rake up a religious discourse again, this time over Ma Kali. Distancing the party from their MP, therefore, you could argue, was the soft, pragmatic option, or should one say, the soft Hindu option. Which brings me back to the persona of Mahua Moitra. As I said, she's a feisty MP, very articulate, who gets under the BJP's skin by taking them on inside parliament and outside. Today, she's seen as one of the rare secular liberal faces for the English-speaking intelligentsia. But the fact, my friends, is that she isn't the TMC's vote catcher. Mamata Banerjee is. Mahua will get the eyeballs in a studio. Her videos will go viral when she speaks passionately. But on the ground in Bengal, the TMC is driven by Mamata as the supremo and her nephew Abhishek Banerjee as the party's organizational point person. Mahua Moitra, for example, was given responsibility for the Goa elections, too late one might add, where the Trinamool Congress predictably drew a blank. Some call her Balika Bakra or Balika Bakri in that election. But in Bengal, the truth is, on the ground, the Banerjees call all the shots. Mahua gives the TMC a robust oratorial presence in parliament, in Lutyens, Delhi in particular, but she can't really challenge the Banerjees in any form, nor do I think she wants to. Recall how Mamata publicly pulled up Mahua during a party meeting in her constituency of Krishnanagar last year over the party infighting there. In a sense, Mahua's predicament, and this is important, is that of any English-speaking politician well educated in India today. They may be very articulate, but they can't really set the political agenda which is driven by populist mass leaders. And yes, if the politician happens to be a woman, as in this case, there is an element of misogyny and envy clearly too. Which doesn't mean that Mahua doesn't have the right to express her personal views. She most certainly does. But when you are a politician, you must accept that every public statement you make will be minutely dissected, and when religion is involved, then the statement will invariably spark off a debate. In an ideal world, this country should be rid of Section 295 of the IPC that allows FIRs to be filed almost routinely for injuring religious sentiments. We should be focusing only on brazen hate speech and incitement to violence. But we live, my friends, in a less than ideal world where netas have weaponized religion and used the law to spread fear. Yes, forces that spread hate and fear in the name of religion must be resisted. But this battle will be won only when we can truly detoxify our politics and keep religion out of it. One last point. The right-wing internet army have asked, why is there a lookout notice in Bengal for Nupur Sharma and none for a Mahua? They also want to know, why is there selectivity in free speech, one standard for Islam and one for Hinduism? Well, personally, let me tell you, I am of the view that there is no cause for Nupur Sharma to be arrested for a TV talk show. But please be clear here. The suspended BJP leader in her tone and content was seeking to denigrate the Prophet, and therefore she had reason to apologize. Mahua, by contrast, was not denigrating the wondrous Kali cult in any manner. As for Islam versus Hinduism, let's again be clear. Hinduism is not Islam, nor should it attempt to mimic another religion. It is not a religion that is driven by a holy text, but a millennial religion, which in its truest form, in its essence, is open, plural, and inclusive. We celebrate Hinduism because it allows for varying interpretations of religion. My idea of Hinduism, for example, is to be found in Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, the former president's masterly spiritual, philosophical Hindu view of life, not in Savarkar's narrow and bigoted political Hindutva. Think about it. That was the Straight Bat. Do of course subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind, Namaskar, Jai Bangla, Jai Ma Kali.